We're looking at the three components of the soul, and I put in bracket to be successful because this is one of the core things that you need to know and then deploy so you can become successful. And until you understand how your soul can function, you may not actually be able to reach your highest height. And one of the best ways to break down the soul is to look at the three core components that makes up the soul and how you can apply them as a professional or as an entrepreneur. The soul is the harbor of the mind. Now, many people always say that your mind is your soul. Yeah, it's just part of it. It's just part of it. The soul is part of, is the main harbor of the mind. And when you understand this, you also get to understand the power that your mind contains. Your mind is a very powerful tool. If there is one thing that you can learn how to manage and to use and to exploit to the best of your capacity, it should be your mind. The soul is the operating system of your life. The only way I can use this laptop is because there is an operating system. The black thing and the screen that you see, these are just body parts. The keyboard are just body parts. But what makes the laptop to work is the operating system. So like your body is just a body. Your hands are like the keyboard. Your head are like the screen and all of that. You need the soul for it to function properly. It is the soul that coordinates the interaction now between the spirit and the physical. And you know, God communicates to you through your spirit. And then it is your soul that now translates it to your body. Very important. So when you get this, it can contribute a lot to your rising. And you're going to see how. You're going to see how. So if you are going to operate in life as a superior creation of God, you definitely need to understand all of these dynamics. And when the soul is suppressed by pressures, manifestation becomes extremely heavy and life becomes limited. Now, there are many people that are not able to manifest their greatest potentials. They are not able to manifest their greatest abilities because their souls are suppressed. The soul is suppressed. And you're going to see how if the three components that make up your soul, if they are suppressed, it automatically affects every area of your life, or not some, every area of your life. It affects your money, it affects your career, it affects your business, it affects your relationship, it affects how you deal with the society, it affects everything, even your relationship with God. So many a time, there are many people struggling in life because really their souls are not functioning at the highest capacity because the souls have been suppressed by pressures. The souls have been greatly, greatly suppressed by pressures. So it is important that you understand how to drive all of these and make good use of it as far as your success journey is concerned. Our souls are similar to computers in the sense that they can be programmed. Yeah, you can program your soul. That is the good thing about the soul. Oh yes, you can program it. And once programmed, they will continue to function as programmed until we reprogram them. That's why there are people that until They will remain unsuccessful because their souls have been programmed the wrong way until they start reprogramming the soul, until their reality start changing. So until your soul changes to operate from a dimension where it can create results, your reality never changes. This is the main reason why people fail in life. This is the main reason why people are average. Because you cannot manifest results above the quality of your soul. The supremacy of your result in life, the supremacy of your result in career and business stems from the quality of your soul. And you know, even for those who are Christians, you only experience God really to the dimension of the quality of your soul. Yes, it plays a very big role. A very big role. So, your choices can pollute or build your soul. Yes, this is very critical for us to know. Your choices can pollute or build your souls. So it is important for you to understand clearly the choices that you're taking. That's why when you're making choices, don't only think about your body. Don't only think about the immediate benefits. You need to look through, you need to calculate throughout. How will this affect me right now? It is beyond your body. If you really want to be a complete successful person, you need to take absolute control of your body and your soul and your spirit man. You need to invest in all of these 4 dimensions. And the funny thing is, the spirit is the highest realm of a human being. The soul is in the middle. The body is the lowest realm of the human being. That is why when your soul has a problem, it affects everything about your life, and then you struggle. You get a point? That's a problem. And if your soul is functioning at a very high level, it contributes a lot to your highest personality, which is your spirit man. And when your spirit man is functioning at its best, there is nothing. You become a person that you can shake the world. This is one of the secrets that the greatest of them greatest, they know and they practice. And that's why I'll be teaching all of these 3 components and re-emphasizing on them. So you also, from today, you don't joke with these 3 components in your life, because when you are joking with one of these components, you are tarnishing your soul. And when your soul is being tarnished, your highest personality cannot manifest. Because your highest personality will only manifest according to the quality of your soul. There is a significant difference in the quality of a life that fits your soul. You see, the quality of your life fits your soul. There are some people that the quality of their life suck away their soul, versus the one that starves it. Some people starve their soul. They don't feed it. So they remain average. So if you want to thrive and really go far in life, you need to feed your soul. A soul nourishing life offers a very different daily experience than a soul starving life. This is very important. That's why there are some people that when they face their days, it's always as if they only have the good news throughout the year. One of the things that contribute to this is because they practice a soul nourishing life. You understand? Very important. Let me tell you something, to be candid. I don't remember the last time I had a very serious bad news that broke me. I don't remember. I don't remember. It's been a while. I've enjoyed a life of very good success stories and so many good news and achievements just happening. And it's not just by coincidence, no. There are many elements behind the scenes that contribute to that kind of lifestyle. I only know about growth. I only know about progress. Oh yes, your life can you can reach that state where you can control so much of your life. And one of the foundations to this is to make sure that your soul is always being nourished as far as life is concerned. Now, I want us to understand these three key things about the man. You as a man, your spirit is God conscious. The spirit of man is God conscious. The soul of a man is self-consciousness, and your body is world consciousness. This is very important to understand. And as I said earlier, your body is the lowest, is your lowest level of power. This arrange according to the level of supremacy. Your spirit man is the highest being in you. Your soul is the second highest, and the body is the last. And in all of this, your spirit man is God conscious, or those who have chosen evil is evil conscious, right? Those people that do cultism, native doctors, funny marabouts, all that kind of stuff. Yes. So their spirit man is evil conscious. Then your soul is self-conscious. It's about you, about certain things in you that you have to get them right. And that is why if your self-consciousness is wrong, it affects your spirit man, which affects your soul, and you get to struggle a lot. Same as body, your body is world conscious. That's why you see people that smoke cigarette, drink and get drunk, go to nightclub, do funny bad habits. It is not, the body is just manifesting what the soul is made of. Exactly. Now, so you need to understand that through your spirit, a regenerated man knows God. Through your soul, you know yourself. And through your body and your senses, you know the world around you. If you are able to operate very well from these three dimensions, you will be so successful. You will be so successful. If you have studied the lives of the greatest of them all who have achieved the highest level of results in their fields and businesses, you understand how they function in these levels. Through your spirit, you know your highest being. You know you function in a higher purpose. You believe and connect to a supreme being called God. Then through your soul, you know yourself. You know yourself and you manage yourself to the best of your capacity. And the soul is the center of it all. If it is wrong, your spirit struggles and your body will struggle. Therefore, the function of the soul is to maintain the spirit and the body in their proper order. Very important. The function of the soul is to maintain the spirit and the body in their proper order, so that they will not lose their proper relationship with one another. You will struggle immediately if there is no proper alignment between the spirit, the soul, and the body. It happens a lot around us. It happens a lot around us. When you see many young people around us that struggle a lot, and you see like some people talk and say their life is only made of bad news, bad news. When you start talking to them, you start seeing, oh, their lives are full of a series of stuff, and you see the source. There's a lot of disorder. There's no alignment between their spirit, their soul, and the body. There needs to be a proper relationship with all of these three beings that are inside of you. There are many people that they focus just on the body. They just wear nice dresses, do nice makeup, and the rest, the soul and the spirit is a total mess up. And that's why they cannot achieve sustainable success. That's why they only live to impress people, and they go back home, they are failures. The only thing they can afford is buy dresses and do makeups. They don't have enough money to even buy a good car or a good house, because they are not even at that level where they can make money. You're going to see how these components you need them so you can be profitable. So in this way, the body which is the lowest will submit to the spirit, and the spirit which is the highest. You see? So your body submits to the spirit, and it is the soul that plays a very critical role in all of this. Therefore, your soul is made up of three components or entities. If you have always wondered what is really a soul, what is really somebody's soul? Now let us look at it. What are these components? I just wanted to talk about, give you that introduction. Now let us go straight into the three core components that makes up your soul, and what you should be doing to make sure that these components are always intact. And please, these three components, you need to be good with in all of them, not one, not two, no, all. If you're only good in one, you will still struggle. If you're only good in two, you will still struggle. You need to invest in all of these three components of your soul so you can achieve and operate from your highest level. Very important. And when you go through this, you see why personally I treat some things very important. Because these are things that when you get them right, your future success is guaranteed. You're not doubting whether you'll be a success or not. No, you know that you will be very successful. You get to defy some conventional things that have existed around you in the society, and you beat it hands down, and you live a different life beyond your peers. You live a different life beyond people in your age group. You live a different life beyond people in your family even, if you understand these things. All right, the first component that makes up your soul, the emotions, your emotions. Oh yes, your emotion remains one of the most critical parts that makes up your soul. So anytime that you are using your emotions, know that you're using your soul. You get the point? And that's why emotions remain one of the most critical things to master in life. When you master your emotions, you can do wonderful things. There are many people who have given up on good businesses because they don't know how to manage their emotions. There are many people who have lost relevant relationships because they don't know how to manage their emotions. There are people who have given up on things that would have changed their lives in the long run because they allowed their emotions to control them. When you don't have to control your emotions, emotions can cloud your judgment, and you cannot see your next 2 months, your next 3 months, your next 1 year. And you can make a quick decision now because your emotions influenced you and you'll regret later. Let's dig deep into emotions. Look at this. According to a study by Talent Smart, emotional intelligence plays the biggest role in performance. Did you hear that? It plays the biggest role in performance. You want to be a higher performer. You want to be a peak performer in career and business, you need to pay attention to your emotions. That is a core element in your soul. If this particular element has any problem, your soul will struggle. Talent Smart found out that emotional intelligence influences 58% of success across every type of job in the society. 58%. It means that if you want to succeed as an entrepreneur, if you want to have 58% success, learn how to be emotionally intelligent. A coach, consultant, IT person, agriculture, teacher, whatever. If you really want to be a high performer, a serious result-driven performer, you need to sort this particular component of your soul, which is your emotions. Many people have reacted to things which later cost them a lot of things that they have lost in life at the end. Emotional intelligence is a core component as far as performance is concerned. It is defined as the ability to understand and manage your own emotions. That's why they always say it is your soul that cries. It's your emotions that cries. So to say that you're emotionally intelligent, it means you're somebody that you understand your emotions, you know your emotions easily. Like there are people who say that I cry a lot. It's good that you know your emotions. Now manage it. If you understand it, it's halfway. You need to understand it and manage it. That's the first part of emotional intelligence. Then the second part of emotional intelligence is your ability to recognize and influence the emotions of those around you. You can recognize somebody's emotions, and then you can take steps to influence the emotions of that particular person. Let us say like a wife and a husband. You recognize that your wife is down. That's one thing. She's not smiling, all of that. You have recognized that. Now, what can you do to influence her emotions? Maybe you now know what she likes. Maybe she likes what? Pizza. Maybe she likes shopping. You're like, okay, dress up, let's go out for shopping. That can just revive her emotions and you bring her back. That's influence. Same as if you're a leader in the workplace, you're a founder. It's your responsibility to make sure that you are so emotionally intelligent, which is an important part of your soul, where you can recognize the emotions of your staff and then also influence them to become better. Emotional intelligence is typically broken down into 4 core competencies. So if you really want to master your emotional intelligence, which is directly related to your soul, then you need to be aware of these 4 core competencies. And when you are able to lead in these 4 core competencies, then you are a very emotionally intelligent person. Let me tell you something. There is just so much, there's so little you can do if you are not emotionally intelligent. Very little. There's very little you can do if you are not emotionally intelligent. Okay? So let's look at these competencies that you need to possess. Number 1, the first core competence in emotional intelligence is self-awareness. Self-awareness is at the core of everything as far as emotional intelligence is concerned. It's at the core of everything. It defines or describes your ability to not only understand your strengths and weaknesses, but to recognize your emotions and the effect they have on you and your team's performance or anybody around you. Did you get that? So if I say that you are self-aware, what I am saying is you understand your top strength. There was a session we had and I gave you a challenge. Write down your 5 top strengths. If you are really serious that you know yourself, you know your 5 top strengths in order of importance in your life. You also know your weaknesses and what you're working on to improve. You understand your strength and your weaknesses. But then you go further. You recognize your emotions and the effect they have on you and on people around you. Now, let's say you have anger issues. What is the effect of anger issues on you and your partner or your team? What is the effect? It's good for you to know the effect so you're aware of this. So that next time when you are angry, you already know that, hey, if I continue on this path, the effect on my team will be this, 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 and this. Then it is going to negatively influence the company. So many people always act anyhow because they don't even know the effects of their emotion. Same as your strength. What is the effect of your greatest strength? Let's say one of your greatest strengths is that you are self-disciplined. Good. Now, what is the effect of that self-discipline on you? What is the effect of that self-discipline on the team, on your spouse, or on anyone around you? So this is the first core component as far as emotional intelligence is concerned. Are you self-aware? Do you know your 5 top strengths? Do you know your 5 weaknesses, and which one are you working on right now? And which is your most dangerous weakness? Oh yes. Dangerous weakness is a weakness that if you don't handle immediately, it will destroy you. It will destroy you tomorrow. There are people pampering what will kill them tomorrow. There are people pampering weaknesses that will destroy them tomorrow. And that's why many people end up not reaching their highest level of potentials because they don't know their weakness, or they even know, they recognize it, but they are not solving it. They are not improving on it. They are not intentional at improving it. That's why I always say that never date or marry a person who says, "Nah, so I made this how I am." That's disaster. You're about to get married to a disaster. Yes, acknowledge people's weaknesses and then celebrate them when they are growing. Celebrate them when they are growing. Encourage them when they're growing to become better and overcome that particular weakness. Now, look at your weaknesses. Do you know the negative effects of your weaknesses on you and your team? I want to give you an assignment. All of you, here's an assignment for you. I want you to go write down your top 5 weaknesses. Draw a T table, a T chart. On the left, write down your top 5 weaknesses. And on the right, write down the negative effects of each weakness to you and people around you. I don't need you to send to me because it's a private, self-confidential stuff. But if you feel that you want to send to me for advice, feel free. But you are not under obligation to send to me. But I did this exercise for myself and it changed me. It changed me as a person. And I believe it can change you. So sit and do a proper self-analysis. On the left, write down your top 5 weaknesses. On the right, write down the negative effect of each weakness on you first, and then on the people who are married, write the negative effect of that weakness on your spouse. If you are working in a team, write the negative effect of that weakness on your team. That's why I asked my staff to be here so that we'll talk about this and they're aware of it. I know I've trained them on emotional intelligence, but it's still good to emphasize on this. Very important. You can also do this for your strength so that you feel good about yourself. Write down your 5 top strengths on your left, and then on your right, write down the positive impact of each strength on you and on your team. On you and on your team. You'll be amazed. And some of you will discover that you have strength that you're not even using it. And that's why you are not producing certain results in life and in business. Number 2, self-management. 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 Self-management refers to the ability to manage your emotions, particularly in stressful situations, and maintain a positive outlook despite the setbacks. Now, this is a big one. There are many people that when they go through setbacks and difficulties, they just give up. Oh, life is very hard. Oh, my own don't finish. That is difficult. They give up. Then they go start something different, and then setback hits them again. Then they give up. They go start something different, and then setback hits them again. They always run from any appearance of setback. And then when you look at their life, full of incomplete projects, half projects here and there, nothing that makes sense. Nothing that makes sense. There is no life without setbacks. There is no life without stressful situations. But the difference between some people and others is that they are good at self-management. Any stressful situation, any setback, their mind is already conditioned to walk over it and achieve results. It's a state of being, it's a state of mind. Entrepreneurs, there is no way you can rise in that thing you're building as a company without self-management, because you will go through stressful situations. You go through setbacks, even marriages. Some marriages are crumbling nowadays because people are not willing to walk through stressful, they want to run away, but you should be walking through. You get a point? You should walk through and maintain a positive outlook despite the challenge. Like I always say, if you feel like crying, cry. But after crying, shut the hell up, wipe your tears, and keep going forward. You have emotions. That way you feel like crying until you're so mature that you now eat all of these things for breakfast, all these stressful situations and setbacks. But if you have self-management, it means you have the ability to manage your emotions in a stressful situation, and you go through that setback and maintain a positive outlook with a clear objective that you will achieve the outcome intended for that particular challenge. Many of you have failed, are struggling because you lack self-management. There are good projects that you abandoned years ago, months ago, weeks ago, because they were not bad, because you were not ready. Your soul was not empowered enough to make that project work. People who lack self-management tend to react a lot. Self-management helps you to appropriately and intentionally respond to stress and adversity. Yes, self-management is the perfect weapon against stress and adversity. From today, start managing yourself the right way. The third component of emotional intelligence, the third core component, social awareness, very important. You need to know how to read a room. Oh, yes. Social awareness describes your ability to recognize others' emotions and dynamics, and the dynamics in play within your organization or environment. Yes, you can read the room, read people's feelings. You are a boss, you are a founder, a CEO, you enter your office, you'll be able to read the staff. Just glance through and able to know how everybody's doing. My team will tell you that I'm very good at this. So I mentioned, I was like, the way I saw you, so I'll call you later in my office. The way I saw you, I don't think that you are, this is not the best you I know. And it always catches. Somebody will start confessing what's going wrong, right? And sometimes you just need to talk with somebody that cares. Very important. Same for relationships, same for families. You need to know how to read the room. Social awareness describes your ability to recognize others' emotions and the dynamics in play within your organization and environment. Even to as things like texting. No, there's a format somebody texts you when they are at their best. But when they are at their low moment, the way they text, I know this is not how this person texts. Like if we talk a lot, if something is wrong with you, because when something is wrong with you, it affects everything about you. Just the way you text is going to be different. And if you can recognize that, if you have social awareness, people who excel in social awareness practice empathy. They know how to put themselves in the shoes of other people. They strive to understand people's feelings and perspective. That's empathy. You don't just conclude on people, no. You listen to what the person is going through. You try to put yourself in their shoes, understand their feelings and perspective. Then you can start solving the problem. For those who are in coaching and for experience life coaching, there's no way you can shine in life coaching when you are not good with social awareness. You are not good with empathy. And there's no way you can build relevant relationships with people when you lack social awareness. You need to know when to smile. You need to know when to do certain things. You need to know when to bring gifts. You need to know when to bring a particular gift. All of these kind of things are under social awareness. Okay, relationship management. Number 4, the fourth core competence under emotional intelligence, relationship management. Relationship management refers to your ability to influence, coach, mentor others, and resolve conflict effectively. This is a very important core competence for people who will end up being in leadership position, or you will end up leading people, or you will end up, CEOs, managers, supervisors, coaches, and all of that. You need this fourth core competence as far as emotional intelligence is concerned. Relationship management refers to your ability to do what? To influence people. You can influence somebody with a gift. You can influence somebody with an action. You can influence somebody by talking to them. You can influence somebody by how you treat them. Next is coaching. You can see a weakness, see a challenge, you sit them down, and you can design a way to guide them through that particular stuff. Mentoring others, like what we're doing, is part of relationship management. Resolving conflicts immediately. This one is people have ended up killing bad relationships because of conflict. Sometimes we should talk about it. But because people don't have relationship management, they just get angry and they say things that they will regret tomorrow. You see? But when you have this core competence of relationship management, you are always focusing on how can we resolve this conflict effectively. You manage your emotions, although it hurts sometimes, but you understand that there is a higher purpose than you letting your emotions control you as a person. You see, you focus on resolving the conflict effectively for the benefit of the future. But many people don't have this particular core competence. They just get angry, and they say things. This is not going to happen again. Oh, I'm not doing it again. Or blah, blah, all many things. And then at the end, when the emotions have passed away, or when they have gathered all the data, then regret starts setting in. But when you wear relationship management, it also means that when something goes wrong, you value the relationship that has been existing already. There are people that have let one instant to spoil a relationship of 10 years, 5 years, or even to lose a relationship that would have changed their life for the rest of their life. They let one conflict, one, not two, one. And then they scatter everything. But that is not the way of successful people. That is not the way of matured men and women who produce results. You understand that your job is that whatever you say, how you act, you need to manage the relationship also. Don't say things without thinking about the cost of what you're saying. Some people prefer to avoid conflicts, which is not also good. If you talk to my team all the time, something is going wrong, we are talking. I want us to talk about this. Talk first. You see, let us talk about it first. Let us sort it out first. That's the way to move forward. You don't avoid it. You don't put fire under it and just blah, 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 and then, no, that's not it. Let's talk about it. Let's sort it out. Let's resolve it. Don't avoid it. It is babies that run away from conflict, and it will come after you later. And leaders solve conflicts. They face conflicts head on. I was just talking to a lady, is it today or yesterday? And she was about to get into a serious relationship and later discovered that the man was actually married. Or before, the man lied to her that he had a baby mama, right? Kind of stuff. So the lady got so angry, and then the wife actually reached out to the lady and warned her, stay away from my man, all those kind of things, funny stuff. And then she got angry at the wife and then blocked the wife. So but she was worried because she was emotionally hurt. The lies from the man, and then secondly, because she was abused and she was innocent, all of that. Then I kept asking her, so did you explain yourself to the woman? Did you tell her that, number one, you did not know that the man was married? Number two, it is not in your nature to date a married man. Number three, you had no idea that you were spoiling somebody's marriage and that you are sorry. Did you do these things? She was talking, going up and down, angry. I will copy the question and send to her. Now, she was emotional. And sometimes in coaching and work with people, you need to learn to bring them back to the base, to the core of it all. You see, I'll copy and send until she was able to calm down and answer my question. She said no. And I asked her, write a message, be respectful, apologize, explain everything, unblock her, and then send to her, and then you can block her if you like. Now, what she did at first, she avoided the conflict. And what happened was that woman now will not believe that she actually aimed at spoiling the marriage or dating a married man, right? That's the negative issue of avoiding conflict. And people who avoid conflicts don't grow, they don't succeed. And they quickly end up having high blood and funny stuff because they carry things in their heart. That's how they pipe things in their heart as if they're a bank of piling things that don't make sense. That doesn't make sense, you see? And when I worked her through this process, she felt better after doing that. Her anger reduced, her emotions were not better. She was like, I feel better actually doing this. And exactly. It is important to properly address issues as they arise, but don't addressing them in a positive way. Anger has never addressed issues. Disrespecting somebody has never addressed issues. Whatever negative thing you can think about has never addressed issues. It is maturity and resolving the conflict with the purpose of achieving a higher goal and maintaining the relevant relationship that will advance you go forward. May you not lose a relevant relationship because you miss out on relationship management. If you are being challenged and being blessed, leave me a message in the chat box that you are there. Leave me a message. While I do a roll call. Are you learning something? Leave me a message. Awesome, good. Teresh, please take me an attendance of all the staff who are in this session. I announced this way earlier, so nobody should miss this session. All right, let's proceed to component number 2, the intellect. Now, we said earlier that we're looking at the 3 components of your soul. So we have seen emotions, which is one of the most important components of your soul. So next time somebody says, my soul is this, all of that, know that they're talking about these things. Emotions of the human being. And now let's look at the intellect. The second component of your soul is the intellect. The human intellect, in bracket understanding, is the capability of a human mind to generalize experiences, to work with abstract terms, and to make conclusions from assumptions. That's the meaning of human intellect. Let's look at it deeper. This is also the mental quality that consists of the abilities to learn from your experience. Yes. If you have the ability to learn from experience, you can learn from somebody else's experience, from your previous experience. It means you have good intellect. If you can adapt to new situations, you have intellect. You can move to a new town and adapt. You can adapt in a new job. You can adapt in a new business. You have intellect. If you can understand concepts, you have intellect. Like what I'm teaching right now. If you can listen to me and you can understand it, you have intellect. You can handle abstract concepts, you have intellect. What are the abstract concepts? Sometimes you can, like right now, it is difficult for you to succeed in one field right now. Like if you're at agriculture, you should be thinking of how can you combine agriculture, technology, e-commerce, and even blockchain. No, those are different abstract that you're trying to handle them to form maybe one product or one company. How can you read something in chemistry, in physics, in history, bring them together and understand it and create something? That's intellect. And they use knowledge to manipulate one's environment. That's intellect. You can use knowledge to succeed in Cameroon. You can use knowledge to succeed in Africa. You can use knowledge to succeed around the world. That is intellect. You see? So your intellect is part of the component that makes up your soul. Now, what does it mean if you are an intellect? According to Webster Dictionary, the ability to think and understand. A person with great ability to think and understand, full stop. You see the importance of punctuations. You know why I missed that. So according to Webster Dictionary, if you say if you have intellect, it means you have the ability to think for yourself and to understand. Like I say, I'm teaching right now, you're thinking, you're analyzing your life, you're assessing what I'm saying, you're processing it, and then you're understanding it. That's intellect. A person with great powers of thinking, who is an intellectual, a person with great powers of thinking and reasoning. There are many people struggling in life, in career and business because the quality of their intellect is not at its best. There are many professions in this world that if your intellect is not functioning at its highest capacity, you would never achieve high results or become a high achiever. The intellect plays a major role in everything we do, everything we do. How you work, how you study, how you cook, how you dress, how you everything. The intellect plays a major role in everything we do. We use our intellect in everyday lives for making routine decisions as well as important decisions. You use your intellect when you want to decide what to wear. You use your intellect. You use your intellect when you want to decide who to marry. You use your intellect. So to as low as daily routines and to as high as most important decisions, you need the intellect. And that is why if your intellect is handicapped, your life can be miserable, miserable to the power 10. Miserable to the power 10. Intellect is very important. You get a point? To succeed, we need to build intellect around many areas of our lives. These are just some. But for you to succeed, you need to build intellect around your profession, around the work that you do, your occupation. You need to build intellect around your job. That's why people go to school and get BSc, MSc, and doctorate degree around a particular field. They're building intellect around that. You see, you build intellect around your industry. You know, you research and carry out studies about your industry as a whole. How is the agricultural industry doing globally? How is it doing in Europe? How is it doing in Africa? How is it doing in Nigeria, in Cameroon, in South Africa? You gather data about your industry. You need to build intellect around your industry. You need to build financial intellect, financial intelligence. Know how money works. Know how to make money. Know how to keep money. Know how to multiply money. You need spiritual intellect. That's why you go to church, you read the Bible, you read Christian books and all of that. So you gather intellect around a particular field. You need physical intellect to live healthy. You need to read about fruit. Why do you need to do sport? Read about it and begin to do it. You need that information. Politics, you need political information. You cannot be in business or in any profession. I don't know the geopolitical nature of your country. That's wrong. You need to know when are the next presidential elections, who is running, what are the positive or negative effects if this particular person wins. You see, relationships, all of these things are important. Because when you don't build intellect around all of these important areas, your soul starts suffering because it's an important part of your soul. It's an important part of your soul. According to Susan, who is an evolutionary biologist, all the evidence suggests the human fetus doesn't have an intellect in any sense. So I love this research because just to prove the point that you can build your intellect. You are not born with a particular intellect. No, you start developing it after you are born. You start developing it after you're born. You see, it doesn't reason, it doesn't think, it doesn't show any signs whatsoever of conscious awareness. It won't begin to do anything remotely like these things until roughly 3 months after birth. They start seeing certain ways of building all of these intellectuals. That's why when you start, the kind of things that your child is exposed to from their 3rd month that they were born is very important. The kind of TV programs you play, the kind of words that people say around the house, they are picking it up. Their brains now have been woken up and they are very sharp. So you need to be careful about those kind of things because you are feeding them. You are feeding their intellect already. And they are picking it. They are picking it. That's why sometimes you see when a child grows and starts talking and start working, there are things that they start asking them, how did this child learn this? No, they were learning from the 3rd month when their intellectual capacity opened up. You see, but it's just to confirm that you can build your intellect and become intelligent, as I always say. If you decide you're going to be, like I always use myself as an example. In primary school, I was consistently last in class. In secondary school, I never passed any class. I was always promoted to the next class on trial. I was one of those sure candidates that know that was going to fail a national GC exam because it was like when they were counting those who would pass, I was not among those who would pass. Sure candidates. I was not there. So you see, one good thing about the intellect is you can change the quality of your intellect and make it better. And you have to invest in it because it's an important part of your soul. Without it, your soul will struggle. That's why you need to study your Bible, for example, to build spiritual intellect. Because how much of who you are, you know, and how much of God you know contributes to your spirituality. We should be intentional to do what it takes to function at our cognitive best, at our intellect best. Increase your fluid intelligence or your capacity to learn new information. That's the meaning of fluid intelligence. Fluid intelligence is very important. If you want to be the best in your field, you need to always practice fluid intelligence. You have this capacity of always learning new information. You are hungry to learn new information. Increase your fluid intelligence or your capacity to learn new information, retain the information, then use it use that new knowledge as the foundation, to solve the next problem or learn the next new skill and so on. So it's a process. It's not just about learning it. No, you need to learn it, one, retain it, two, then use it to solve a problem or use it to learn a new skill or improve on the knowledge. That's the process. You keep it going. So fluid intelligence, that is the process of fluid intelligence. Many people are not the best in their field because they don't practice fluid intelligence. There are people that, since this year started, they have not read an expert book in their field. You are not a fluid professional. Because a fluid professional, you read expert books in your sector. That's your responsibility. Look for it and read. Follow experts in your field. Read books, have a reading culture. Because it affects the quality of your soul. Your capacity to learn new information, retain that information, then use that new knowledge as the foundation to solve the next problem or to learn a next skill or to contribute to that knowledge or to improve on the knowledge, whatever that you can do, but make sure you practice fluid intelligence. In order to generate successfully intelligent output, a good working memory is pretty important. Oh yes, having a memory that can remember things is very important in this journey. The more you train your brain to remember, the more you gain. That's why they always say that a brain is like a muscle. The more you use the brain, the more the brain grows and becomes better and more efficient. That's why the more you read, the more you attend sessions like this, your brain is being stretched. It becomes better over time. But if you don't read and all of that, your brain remains, it gets old, it gets as if it's rusted. You can barely have good memory because the brain has been lazy and doing only negative, less valuable stuff. Anyone can increase their cognitive ability, anyone. No matter what your starting point is, you can increase your cognitive ability. You can make your intellect become better. You can train your brain to be more intelligent. You can produce more intelligent output. You can increase your cognitive ability. Now, let us look at 5 principles to build their cognitive ability. 5 principles to build their cognitive intellect. Number 1, seek novelty. One of my favorites. If you really want to build your brain to be intelligent, you want to build your intellect, seek novelty. Geniuses are constantly seeking out novel activities. Learning a new domain, it's their personality. Okay? Always learning. Like you are going through this session because you have some form of novelty, because you are interested to learn something new. But you need to go further. This is when novelty comes in, where you can leave your field and read something outside your field. That's novelty. It builds your intellect in a powerful way. For example, let's say you are in agriculture. Why not start taking courses online or buy a book on blockchain technology? Yes, that's a novelty activity. It's outside your domain. It's outside your comfort zone. You're studying something new that your brain will not be used to it, but you force your brain. That's why there are certain books that when you're reading that is not in your field, your head may be aching. It's because your head is stretching, your brain is stretching. You understand? You can get a book in physics, read a topic in physics, in chemistry, in accounting, in finance, in whatever field. But you can step aside, especially a field that you know that has a possibility of affecting what you do tomorrow. You read about it. Like, for example, if you're in agriculture, you can read e-commerce. because you can build an e-commerce platform and sell your agricultural produce. That's novelty. If you run a school, for example, you start thinking of how does virtual reality work, and how can people use virtual reality in their houses, and a teacher is teaching in your campus and students from all over the world are following the teacher from their houses, and it feels like they are in class. You see, you begin to look at things like that. I can give all those kind of examples because I like novelty. I like just understanding, okay, how can this work connect with this and all of that? And it stretches my brain. People who rate high on openness are constantly seeking new information. If you say that you have an open mind, you are somebody who seeks information. You seek new information, new activities. You always look for new activities to engage in. You can go volunteer and be part of a project so that you can just do something new out of your comfort zone. You learn new things, you do new experiences. Seek novelty. It's a powerful way to build your intellect, which is a very important component as far as your soul is concerned. Number two, challenge yourself. Almost linked to number one. Yes, intentionally challenge yourself. Move on to the next challenging activity. Yes, challenge yourself. Don't be comfortable. If you're an entrepreneur, if your business made 1 million today in profit, challenge yourself. Set a new target that you're going to make 2 million in 2 months. If you ask my team, I always tell them, okay, we just made this. Okay, now how can we take it to this? Our numbers are this. We need to take our numbers to this. We need to take it to this. Always set a new challenge. In order to keep your brain making new connections and keeping them active, you need to keep moving on to another challenging activity as soon as you reach the point of mastery in the one that you are engaging in. Yes, that's how you build your intellect. When you have reached the level of mastery at studying something, why not go? One of my goals is I want to do another PhD, I want to do another doctorate degree in another field. Every day I'm growing in business and all of that. Do something in another field. Challenge myself. Because I want to make sure my intellect remains. Apart from that, I keep reading books and articles. I challenge myself to read as much as possible because I know it is important to my soul. Some of you have been in your comfort zone like in the last 5 years. In all areas of your life, you have been in your comfort zone. Okay, good. Number three, think creatively. Think creatively. Think creatively. Think creatively. Yes, for you to build your intellect, you need to practice creative thinking. Creative cognition involves divergent thinking. I've been talking about that already in another dimension. Involves divergent thinking, wide range of topics and subjects, where you're able to make remote associations between ideas, switching back and forth between conventional and unconventional thinking, generating original novel ideas that are also appropriate to the activity you're doing. You're creative. For example, let us say, sometimes when I want to do a presentation, for example, sometimes I begin to ask, how can I make this presentation creative? Sometimes I'll go and research the industry where it was 100 years back. I'll go and research, okay, where was this industry, what were they doing 100 years back? What are they doing today? What will this industry be 10 years from now? Now, I am picking things. That's creativity. You are picking things, wide range of topics and subjects and all of that, and picking them here and there, and then you carve out something that is new, something that is different, that can sound transformational. That's creative thinking. You are running a school right now, a higher institution, or you are running a tailoring workshop, or you're running an agency, whatever they are doing. You begin to look at, as a manager, as a supervisor, begin to look at, okay, what's happening here and here? How can history, how can physics, how can the war in Ukraine, how can politics in Nigeria, how can Donald Trump coming back to power, how can Dubai, you begin to look at all of these things here and there, and then you begin to work them out in your head or on paper, and just begin to think creatively, looking at things from different dimensions. That's why it says creative cognition involves divergent thinking. And that's why it's good to feed your mind with information. So you can have a lot of information in your head that you can use for divergent thinking. Many people cannot think creatively because the information they have in their head is very small. Their intellect is very small. They don't consume a lot of information. So they have very minimal data. They have very minimal topics and subjects to use in this divergent thinking. You now see why you need to wake up? Number 4, do hard things. Do hard things. Do things the hard way. Yes, this is a very powerful way to build your intellect. Your brain needs exercise as well. If you stop using your problem-solving skills, your spatial skills, your logical skills, your cognitive skills, how do you expect your brain to stay in a top shape? Yes, learn to do things the hard way. For example, if I ask you, what is 5 times 15? Instead of using a calculator, use your head. That's the meaning. That's how you build your intellect. The one truth is that internet and many gadgets have greatly contributed to many people being small thinkers or slow thinkers, or maybe being foolish, in quotes. Learn to do things the hard way. It contributes to your brain. May I love to do this. It's important. Sometimes instead of taking the lift, take the stairs. Instead of taking taxi to work or driving to work every day, sometimes walk. It's very important. There are many times that when I used to go to work, like when I'm in Cameroon, sometimes I used to take a taxi halfway and then I walk to the house the rest of the way. Intentionally. It's important. It helps the body, it helps the brain. When you do everything in a lazy way, it contributes to your lazy intellect. If you are not been reading, start reading. You have been reading 2 chapters a day, step up to 4. Do things the hard way. It plays a big role in your intellect. Stop being lazy 24/7. It's going to negatively affect you as a person. Number 5, the last 5, the 5th principle when it comes to building your intellect. The 5th one is network. Network, like what is happening here right now. You're only having access to this session because we are connected. After this is a course, put it on PPU and it becomes 20,000 francs for the course. Simple as that. Network exposes you to new intellect. By exposing yourself to new people, ideas, and environments, you are opening yourself up to new opportunities for what? For cognitive growth. Being in the presence of other people who may be outside of your immediate field gives you opportunities to see problems from a new perspective. Yes. If I'm in the presence of doctors, there's a way they talk, like medical doctors. The way they talk, I get to learn something new every day about the body and about the brain. When I'm in the midst of accountants or bankers, I get to learn something new about the economy, monetary issues, and all of that. I'm around IT guys, I get to learn a lot of new IT stuff and how I can do things better with my work. You see, it increases. That's why I love panel discussions. I love When I go to conferences, I like panel discussions. Because in the panel discussions, they can bring 5 experts, 4 experts from different fields, and they're talking on one topic. You're going to hear 5 different new perspectives. You're going to hear how experts are looking at things from 5 different areas. It builds my intellect. I love that. Some people, your intellect is low because for the past 5 years, you are only around your friends, family, village people, and colleagues. Outside of that, nothing. And these people say the same thing every day throughout. Nothing new is in their circle. Nothing new is in their circle. Or some of you just hide in your house. Your life is from school to work to house, from work to work to house. You don't reach out to anywhere. You don't go out to anywhere, all of that. Oh, thank God for mentorship and PPA that you're part of. I guess at least you're being exposed to new stuff every day for those who actually read the things I write, right? So it's funny. One guy reached out to me today that he want me to mentor him, and then he's my how do you call that on WhatsApp broadcast list. And I asked him, "Do you read all the messages I send to you?" He said, "I read some." I said, "You want mentorship from me where I don't read articles I sent to you for free? Are you serious with your life?" And I gave him a task. Go and read the last 30 articles I've sent to you in the last 30 days, and then come back, let's talk. It was before I came for this session I'm having with you guys right now. That's the task I gave him. Go and read the last 30 articles and listen to the last videos I've sent to you on the broadcast list in the last 30 days, then come, let us talk. That's information for you to consume that you're not consuming. So how do you want me to mentor you? When what I'm even giving out to you for free and it's even broken down for you, you're not even consuming it. So do you want me to do magic? No. You see? So network is very important. Exposing yourself, being part of communities like this, taking courses online like this, play a very important role for you to build your intellect. All right, let's look at the last component, the third component that makes up your soul, the will. Your will, your human will, your human will, your human will, your human will. Every man carries within himself a will which, coupled with positive reason, can contribute to a great life. We all have a choice. We all have a will, which, coupled with positive reason, can contribute to a great life. People have the will to make the wrong choices and the will to make the right choices. But if you take your will and decide to take the right actions, your life will never remain the same. The will of man is a given attribute to make a moral choice. The will of man is a God-given attribute to make a moral choice. God has given you that attribute. You can make the right choice or you can make the wrong choices. You have the right to do that. The word will here means a person's freedom to make choices in life. For many of us, when we're still in our parents' houses, they try to control our will. They try to beat us and discipline us, which is good because we don't even know our left from our right. Now, when many have grown, they still take that same will and they make the wrong choices, which end up destroying them. So the will is the third component that makes your soul. So for you to have a complete soul, it means you have emotions, intellect, and will. These three things makes up your soul as a person. What do you do with your will? Do you make the right choices or do you make the wrong choices? God gave people a free will so that we could make our own choices. This is one of the most powerful things that God gave human beings. The ability to make their own choices. Having a free will does not mean that we can do whatever we want without suffering the consequences. This is where the trap is. Because even though we have a free will, we are still responsible for the choices that we make. Hear this. We can choose to sow whatever we want, but we cannot choose what we will reap. You can choose to do whatever you want, but let me tell you, you will reap whatever you sow. You cannot choose to reap. You always reap exactly what you planted. You can choose what to plant, but you cannot choose what you harvest. So you have your will, yes. You have the will to make the right choices, yes. So make the choices, but be aware that you cannot choose what you will reap, what you will harvest. So having a free will does not mean that you can do whatever you want. Nobody's going to stop you, yes, that's a fact. Nobody will shout at you, especially if you have reached your adulthood. Nobody will stop you, but know that your consequences, the consequences of your actions will be waiting for you. So one of the things that control our will is when we imagine the consequences of our actions. Then that controls our will. If you forget anything under this point, this component number 3, do not forget that you can choose to plant whatever you want, but you will never choose to harvest. You will only harvest exactly what you plant. If you plant bad, you plant evil in somebody's life, in somebody's business, in whatever thing you're doing, don't worry. Just tarry for a while on this earth. It's a spiritual principle that is beyond. Sometimes we just thank God for the mercies of God, for those who are in Christ, who repent are in Christ. There are some consequences that when you repent, they still follow you, right? But the difference is that it's not how you look at it. For example, as I always say, you can fornicate and God can forgive you. And if you get pregnant in the process, the child will not pass away, right? The old action may pass away, but the child will not pass away, for example. So you always reap it. You always harvest whatever you plant. So willpower is very powerful and it's a gift. Now, how do you build valuable willpower? What are those recommended actions that I suggest to you that you should practice from today so that you should use your will the right way? You should use this gift that God has given you and I the right way. As humans, the body always wants to do funny things. But we can train ourselves and grow to become better in how we make good use of our willpower. 9 recommended actions on how to build valuable willpower. Number 1, start with small steps. It's with, not will. Start with small steps. Small steps lead to significant changes. Sometimes you cannot just make big changes at once. Start small. What small steps can you start with? Let's say, for example, you want to build a Bible study life and you have been procrastinating a lot. You don't know how to sit and study. What you can decide to do is, you know what? You read 1 verse each day. Just 1 verse, not 2, 1. You can start with Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. When in the beginning, God created heaven and earth, and then you close your Bible and pray. Oh yes, you can start from there. After like 1 week, you can start reading 2 verses a day. Let's say you want to do prayer life, want to improve your prayer life. Start by praying for 5 minutes. If you're not even praying at all, and then soon you realize you can pray for 1 hour. You answer the one trying to, how will I stop this? Right? So start with, look at that thing that you want to build that you have been struggling with because your willpower is not strong. You're not able to make the right choices to focus on. How can you start small? Forget about doing for so many hours that other people know. Start small and then go back to your lazy life. Because some people, for them to sit and watch TV, there's no problem. Oh, there's no problem. They can watch TV for 4 hours, 5 hours, no problem. They can browse on WhatsApp, Facebook for hours, no problem. But just to take a book and read, they lack the willpower. therapy for disaster. You comfortably, so I want, maybe it's because you have when you have done something, you find it so difficult that others are unable to do it, right? But you comfortably can sit for hours and do like social media or television. You cannot sit for 30 minutes to read a book. You lack the will to read the book, to plan what will help you tomorrow. But you have the will to do what will destroy you tomorrow. You see how the body works? That's the body, that's driven by the body. And also by the quality of your soul. Yes. When the quality of your soul is advanced, you can direct your body to do what you want it to do. Number 2, practice self-discipline. For you to practice self-discipline, do not carry out any activity based on how you feel. Do what you are supposed to do when it is time to do it. Stop letting that I did not feel like doing it. I was not in the mood to do it. No. That's nonsense. You want to be successful? Self-discipline, get things done, whether you feel like doing it or not. Simple. So you want to build willpower that will be valuable for you and your destiny? Practice self-discipline. Number 3, set priorities with clear deadlines. Create self-imposed deadlines. Yes, set priorities. Okay, for today, I have the following priorities. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, I am doing this, this, and this. It contributes to your willpower because you have something that is helping you to guide how you spend your time. Set priorities with clear deadlines. What are my priorities for today? Okay, read this book, create this course, do this, do that, have a session, do this, all of that. You put deadlines and you create self-imposed deadlines. It could be that, okay, I will only touch my social media, my phone at 12 p.m. when I'm done with all my morning tasks. That's a self-imposed deadline and you respect it. Except you're a hypocrite. You don't say, you don't do what you say. Right? But respect thyself. Number 4, have an accountability partner. I think serious mentees who are already in phase 2 can confirm about this. Like they're able to consistently achieve results because they know that they have somebody who is holding them accountable. I am always expecting them to submit the goals they have achieved for the week to me every Saturday evening. They have to submit it. You see, so it helps you to always get to work because you know there is somebody expecting something from you. It contributes to your willpower. And in the long run, you can now enter a state of flow. Whether the person is there to, whether the accounting partner is there or not, but you have already entered that dimension. It's already like a routine for you. Like there are certain things in my life now, I don't need anybody to encourage me to do it. It's in my state already. It's my state of flow already. I've been doing it for 12 years. It's in my nature. It's part of my DNA. You see, I am used to writing goals every morning and achieving them before evening. I've been doing it for more than a decade. I've entered a state of flow. I'm used to reading already. It's my state of flow. I'm used to many other things. You see? So that's the benefit of accountability partner. Like there are mentees who have been with me for 3 years, 4 years, and they submit their task for the week every Sunday and submit it to me every Saturday. And their lives have advanced in these 3 years more than the last 5 years of their life, or even 10 years of their life. Because their willpower is now in check. They say they will do something and they do it. Because they know somebody like me, I'll wake up at any time and then surprise you and ask it. And sometimes I can be asking when I already made my decision. That you see this one, the relationship don't end. Right? So it's important for you to understand who can hold you accountable. It plays a big role in what you do. Number 5, visualize the consequences of your actions and even non-actions. Yes. If you don't have the willpower to do something that will help you tomorrow, what are the negative consequences of you being lazy? You'll be poor, you'll be broke, you'll be a failure, and all of that. Sometimes visualizing consequences of your non-actions or actions can contribute to generate willpower. It helps me a lot personally. This is one of my favorite things to do. I always like to visualize, okay, what are the good consequences of doing this and what are the bad consequences of doing this? It helps a lot in our willpower. Sometimes I write it. I always share one of my funniest things I did 10 years ago was how I stopped drinking alcohol, where I sat down and I wrote on the right alcohol. On the left side, I wrote advantages of alcohol in my life and my future. And I did not have any advantage. And that was why I stopped alcohol. Consequence of my actions. I had the willpower to stop it because I did not see any benefits. I only saw negative things that could happen. I could get robbed. I could be stabbed in a fight in the bar. I could be set up. I could be poisoned. I saw so many negative stuff about going out and drinking alcohol. And that was how I stopped. Like it just stopped drastically. No special attention. The power of willpower. Number 6, establish, practice, and keep positive habit lists. Yes. It takes the right routines to also develop willpower, the right habits. Sometimes, like me, for example, I don't need willpower to wake up from bed because I've been waking up from bed 3 a.m. for the last 10 to 12 years. So it's already a habit. But it started long ago from 5 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. to 4 a.m. to 3:30 to 3 a.m. You see, it became a habit. I established a habit, I practice it, and you can keep a habit list. You can write on your wall. The habit list is what I do for new people. I always ask people, write down your top 10 new habits you want to practice from today, and then put on your wall in the bedroom where you sit every day. So it reminds you. It could be as number 1, make up your bed when you wake up. Number 2, do not go online immediately you wake up. Number 3, read at least for 30 minutes. Number 4, do that. Number 5, do positive affirmations. Number 6, pray. You put all of these habits so that sometimes, because me, I used to forget. I would say I will do this when I wake up and I will forget when I wake up. So I made a habit list, which I pasted it on my head, but when I wake up, I look, it reminds me of what I used to do, what I need to do that morning. Then I do it before I go on. It's very powerful. If you are something like that, you always forget what to do in the morning. Maybe some people really want to pray in the morning, but when they wake up, poof, they have gone. They've totally forgotten something like prayer. They jump straight into the bath or they do whatever they're doing, and then they remember around, oh, I did not pray. Oh my goodness, right? So you can keep a habit list on the wall or where you can see it every day, or you can set some phones are so good. You can set your phone so that when the alarm clock rings, you can see it on your screensaver, or you can pop up. It can pop up and remind you, okay, as you see this alarm clock like this, I'm going to do the following habits before you step out. It's very important. Number 7, when you fail, do it again. This is very important. Willpower requires consistent actions to be sustainable. What do I mean? Let's say, for example, you plan that you want to study one chapter of a book in the morning, and then you wake up in the morning and then you forgot. Do it again the next morning. Put it on your to-do list again and say you read again when you wake up. When you wake up, maybe you read for 5 minutes and then you fall asleep. You don't know when you fell asleep. It's okay. Do it again the 3rd day. Allow it there as a habit. Wake up again the 3rd day and read. You wake up again and read for 10 minutes and you sleep up or you get bored or you go and do something. That's good. The 4th day, do it again. Nobody builds a habit from start. No human being can do that. None. Nobody. You get the point? But the secret of those who have successfully achieved this, consistent actions. Willpower requires consistent actions to be sustainable. Keep in mind that a successful person is not the one who does not fail or fall, but one who can get up as quickly as possible. So when you fail, do it again. When you fail at that habit, do it again. When you fail, do it again. Keep on trying to do it again until you get it right. Very important. And number 8, know your purpose and establish a clear, passionate vision. Yes, it can contribute a lot to your willpower. There was something that there was a habit I was trying to fight. Which habit was that? Then I remember asking myself this funny question. I was talking to myself. It was loud. I was in the parlor or something, because I used to like movies a lot. I could watch a movie for 12 hours or 3 days, and I totally forget to eat. I watched Prison Break. For those who know films that just came out, I watched Prison Break for 3 days. I forgot to eat. I used to love movies, like seriously love movies. And then there was something I was trying to fight. And then I asked myself a funny question. Your dream is to travel around the world and do this thing that you want to do. How will this thing help you to travel around the world? And that was how I stopped the habit. That's the power of establishing a clear, passionate vision. Your purpose, sometimes if your purpose has really consumed you, if your vision for the future has really consumed you, if you have really bought into that vision, I tell you, it can contribute greatly to your willpower, to your self-discipline. When you think about it alone, that's why the only reason I study so passionately, I never get bored studying or reading, because I know it's a very important part of my vision and purpose. Right? So it's very important that we are conscious of that. So what is your purpose? Do you have a very clear, passionate vision? Sometimes that's all you need to think about. There are many times I've woken up from bed. It was sleep. I remember it was sleep that I was trying to fight. I was asking myself, if you continue sleeping in this bed like this, will you do what you want to do? I asked myself this question like for 1 full year before I conquered sleep. It was people I was trying to fight. Every morning before I would struggle to wake up. And then I would ask myself the question, Joybert, if you continue sleeping, will you do this thing you want to do? And then I would jump up from the bed, right? So it worked for me. So sometimes just remembering yourself of your vision and your purpose can play a big role in building your willpower, because you need the will. It's very important. You need positive willpower for you to win and for you to build this component of your soul. And number 9, face your fears. Yes, fear can paralyze willpower. And the best way to conquer fear is to face it. There are 2 antidotes for fear: faith and action. Faith and action. And when you're taking action, be okay to fail. The highest thing that sponsors fear is the fear of failure. When you're taking actions, say, I am okay to fail. And in this life, I don't fail. I only learn. I only get feedback. Fear is the enemy of determination. So if you want to strengthen your determination, if you want to strengthen your willpower, you have to overcome your fear. So anything that you're afraid of, face it head on. Build your faith and take action. And when you fail, you did not fail. That was feedback. That was learning. You're going to become better after that. The most successful people are people who have failed the most times in life. And when you fail, you learn, you build your capacity, and you become better. Therefore, it is your responsibility to utilize God-given free will to do what is right and to subdue temptations. It is your responsibility, your personal responsibility, to utilize God-given free will to do what is right and subdue temptations. Because if you don't, you will use your will and make the wrong decisions, take the wrong actions that will hurt you for the rest of your life. But if we take the responsibility to valuably utilize this God-given will, we will do something beautiful with our lives. A person with strong willpower can make a better decisions even in the midst of a difficult situation and move forward with confidence. But the person with no willpower finds it difficult to make the right decisions and end up crashing. So do you want to move ahead in the midst of difficult situations? You need to build willpower. You need to consistently take actions to make sure that you do this. It's going to help you a lot. In conclusion, in all of these, we have seen the power of your soul. We have seen the three components that make up your soul. Until you take responsibility, growth will not happen. That is why no matter how God wants to see you succeed, if you don't do your part, if your soul is not ready, the spirit will struggle. If you really want to enjoy the blessings of God, the promises of God, the covenants of God, the full manifestation of God's destiny for your life, then take responsibility for your soul. And the best way to take responsibility for your soul is to master the three components that make up your soul. And the day you do that and reach that level where you control all of these three dimensions of your soul, you will shake your world. You will be a phenomenal professional. You'll be an incredible entrepreneur. All right, everybody. I hope that this was worth it. You were challenged and you feel much better. You have been opened up and transformed to take actions in a new direction as we proceed. All right, I can get questions now.